This is Ted, and I've had my Wi-Fi connection completely cut off at this Los Angeles Public Library branch and Los Angeles Public Library for now, and I can't log on to do FTP to tedjesuschristgod.org. I can't even get an internet page up, and I can't even put any videos out to YouTube. There's another method for me to put a video out. I can't currently FTP and get anything out to www.tedjesuschristgod.org. I've been completely cut off for now from FTP. The Los Angeles Public Library blocks all FTP and do not seem cooperative in the slightest in giving Ted FTP access to their other from their other computers. In general, Ted's getting pounded here because he told people where he was, and people have shown up here and are saying, oh, this is where he's operating, and this is where he's currently operating out of this exact branch. In fact, some spies have checked Ted out here and other people and seen Ted here where he set up a real rendezvous point for 4 Sabbaths in a row, and they're pounding Ted here at this branch and with the entire Los Angeles Public Library system to keep Ted from being able to use this. This terribly violates Ted's U.S. constitutional rights to religious freedom, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, liberty, religious freedom, religious rights, freedom of press rights, freedom of press liberty. This terribly violates Ted's political freedom and political liberty. This terribly violates Ted's freedom of speech. This terribly violates many things which should be protected by the U.S. Constitution, which should be over all U.S. federal laws, U.S. state laws, U.S. local laws, U.S. city laws, including public libraries and this public library. Therefore, by cutting Ted off and saying, we are going to say Ted's doing something illegal, so we're going to cut him off, then you charge him and you arrest him. And you tell him exactly what Ted is being charged with, what he's doing, quote-unquote, illegal, to cut Ted off from his U.S. constitutional rights to religious freedom and freedom of press and freedom of speech. Okay? You either stop cutting Ted off. Many different people in this light. Come on, light. Oh well. You either stop cutting Ted off, or you give him access to the internet fully with FTP and with full access to what he's been doing. He was able to operate well enough in Phoenix. He was able to operate well enough in San Diego. And it seems like Los Angeles and Los Angeles Public Library system wants to mess with Ted. The President of the United States can't mess with Ted. The Vice President can't. Anybody in the White House can't. Top U.S. politicians can't. U.S. federal government can't. U.S. state government can't. U.S. mayor or governors of states cannot. U.S. mayors cannot. They cannot violate Ted's U.S. constitutional rights to religious freedom and religious liberty. They cannot violate Ted's U.S. constitutional rights to freedom of the press and press liberty. They cannot violate Ted's U.S. constitutional rights to freedom of speech and speech liberty. They cannot violate Ted's political rights to political freedom and political liberty. They cannot violate many of Ted's U.S. constitutional rights to many things he is supposed to have, including religious freedom, and he should have freedom of press, freedom of speech. He should have political freedom, and he should have freedom enough in the United States. And if you cut Ted off and you keep pulling these maneuvers, well, some of them are secret, they're basically being done, and Ted Loud spiritually is being told who is behind this and or what is behind this. You better charge Ted, and you better arrest Ted, then you better haul Ted into court, and you better try to convict Ted. And Ted will defend himself and pound you how much Ted can, and then he'll sue you. And you're still possibly going to be sued. Another reason why you're not telling Ted, to his face that this happened is, the U.S. government all the way down to state governments and county and city governments don't want to be sued, and individuals don't want to be sued. Ted can go after individuals. He can even pierce trust. You think you have everything in land trust and everything in different trusts? Ted can pierce through these trusts. Ted can pierce through corporate veils. Ted can pierce through different concealing and protection of your property and wealth and land and real estate and different things and get to you. Some of you are really going to, if nothing else, you're going to get sued. And sooner or later, somebody is going to give Ted enough proof to sue, or he's just going to sue, and there may be some stepping forward and saying, I know what happened. I know what they did here. And they were cutting Ted off, and they were hacking Ted, and they were actually getting on his computer and hacking Ted. And these are some in U.S. government, some in state government, some in local government, even Homeland Security and FBI, even police. And you're supposed to be good law enforcement. You're supposed to be good enough. Some of you are corrupt to terribly corrupt, and in on things with corrupt to terribly corrupt politicians, even with secret Roman Empire. You're basically the enemy of good enough U.S. citizens and patriots. Patriots on U.S. soil are having a terrible time. No wonder many U.S. veterans that really start to get it are disgruntled to terribly disgruntled now. U.S. war veterans, including from World War II even, were disgruntled, terribly disgruntled. Definitely from Korea and Vietnam wars, even from the Cold War. You have many disgruntled war veterans, many disgruntled USA military, many good enough to really outstanding USA military what are really upset. Ted was a U.S. government contractor, serviced the AFCAC 308 for the U.S. Air Force, and after this had secret Roman Empire all over him, pounding him, including taking apart his family, taking his wife and his children from him, taking everything possible, all property, land, real estate, the companies, everything possible from Ted. This did happen before Ted even ever started his religious work. It was secret Roman Empire, World War II alignment, and others. This is completely true. USA, you are getting conquered, complex conquered by the secret Roman Empire, what could also have a nuclear attack or many nuclear attacks, and or get USA and Russia into it, or USA and others into it.